So, we are online. Good. Welcome everybody to the Scrum Game simulation session. So, this is Daniel for Liberating Talks. We are a coaching community to share learning and explore agility and coaching. So, we have today a mural board that we'll start to share right now. So, this is the beginning. So we are recording. So do I have your permission, Sarah,
Yeah.
to record this session? Thanks. Olena,
Yeah, yes.
thank you. You can regret after and we can delete it. It's okay. Thanks for the first permission. So let's clarify first what's the game. So I already played this game 2 times in the last years. So it's a game of my own creation. It's just a simple simulation of a Scrum process. So, what's your experience with the Scrum, Sarah? Do you have any experience with the Scrum?
Yes, actually, I was certified since last December by Scrum Alliance, and yes, now I'm working, but not fully in as a Scrum Master. So, yeah, still also continuing another Stufe, another level there with the
Mhm.
advanced. Yeah, so I am in the process of learning.
Perfect, perfect. So you have some ideas. Good. And Olena, I think you also are working as a Scrum Master.
Yeah. So um, recently I joined the project, and yeah, I am in the role of Scrum Master. So for me, it's the first experience to be a fully Scrum Master, not
Wow,
like as it was before.
congratulations. So then, if you have experience, you may know that the Scrum team is working through this workflow, moving from planning to a daily basis, and at the end of the sprint, creating an increment, reviewing that increment, and then reviewing the process or how to improve, and then go on again. So you more or less have the sequence. So I will use this chip just to indicate in which part of the Scrum framework we're positioning on each time. So during the game, on the right, you can click on the outline elements. So the Scrum game basically is a creative process. So the Scrum game consists on um, creating a thriller, just we are producing a movie, and then we want to create different scenarios for the movie, and then we're going to use a Scrum for that. So the developers are intended to implement the movie sessions, movie scenarios, in order for the sprint backlog and based on the definition of done and following the business values. Um, their roles in the Scrum team, as you may know, there are three main accountabilities: Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Developer, and they are represented by the shapes. So the Scrum Master is the pentagon, the Product Owner is the rhomboid, and the developer is the round. So the idea is to declare here the names and the accountabilities to play, but we are only three today, so I will play the Scrum Master role as to be the game facilitator. Someone of you two should be the product owner, and I will play also a developer role because we are not enough people to simulate the process.
Mhm.
So who wants to be the product owner?
I can go for it.
Okay, Sarah. Sarah, you are the product owner. You can put your name here. And then I think, Olena, you will be developer with me. So these two we are not going to use, then we can delete them. So as you know, in the planning, we're going to create a sprint backlog. We're going to do 5 minutes a sprint to create the scenarios. And then we are going to run each minute one small daily, and the daily is just consist on changing your color depending on what status you're having. So if you feel you are on track, you remain green. If you feel you are not going to make it or a little bit insecure, you can change your color to yellow this way.
Mhm.
And if you are totally blocked or you have an impairment, you can change your color to orange. That's the daily. We are not debating. It's just coming here and updating the colors every minute. And then we are going to simulate one sprint, and after that, another one, another one,
Mhm.
and check out what's the outcome of each sprint. So here we represent in these green cards the business values. Let me correct this for a second. This is not the right one. Okay, we'll bring this. Bring to the front. Yes. Yes, much better. Right. Perfect. Then I will block it again. And the definition of done is expressed here. So by definition, each one of the scenarios has at least one picture and it has at least one paragraph of description. It's a very rudimentary definition of done, but it's just to start.
Mhm.
And as a working agreement, we define, okay, we have sprints of 5 minutes and the daily is each minute. So each minute represents 1 day of work. Questions, comments?
We have here business values. The market pays more for, and nothing.
The continuation is the green card on the right. So the market pays more for a story with a surprise factor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
and then okay.
Good. So what's going on in the more questions?
And it has a picture. Plus, it has a burger. Spread 5 minutes daily each minute. Okay. So here we need to create a movie with a picture, right?
Yeah.
So and those yellow cards, so they are let's say the parts of the movie, right?
Mhm. Correct.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Uh, as I understood, uh, you and me, we need to put those cards in some order and choose a picture to represent this part of the movie, right?
Yeah. You and me, you mean Daniel and Olena. Daniel and Olena are
Yes.
developers. So then I will answer no. The one to order the backlog is the product owner. The product owner is Sarah.
Okay.
So right now the Scrum team is still here now. The Scrum team is working on the product backlog. Now, product owners, Scrum Master, and developers meet and discuss the product backlog before starting the sprint.
Mhm.
Sometimes this is called the sprint zero or the pre-sprint, but it's like we are meeting for the first time in the project and then on the product, and then we start to establish what's coming up in the future. So then we are exploring the backlog. So then let's the product owner decide, okay, given I will be Scrum Master in this debate, so then I will ask the product owner, okay, what's your strategy to maximize the value of this product?
Mhm. So can we like do just a prova first and then For me, not yet clear.
Okay. How you would like to order the backlog?
Uh, so, just to be clear, then we have to build the story on the Scrum image or down. That's what I miss it now.
Okay. So the process, for example, we take one scenario. For example, the rich man is dead.
Mhm.
And for this scenario, we need to create one paragraph, blah, 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 and one picture. For example, I come here and say, okay, I'm send. I can search here. I'm send something like this, for example.
Mhm.
We patch. Then we can start to build the first scenario like this. So your job as a product owner is to define as how to create value. So then your strategy, when you say, okay, we're going to create a movie, what creates more value in the movie? Then you have here the screen cards to define what are the factors that make the movie more profitable to create more value for the watchers.
Mhm.
And then you as a product owner need to use your creativity and your vision to identify how to order the backlog and how to prepare the backlog items in order to maximize the value.
Mhm.
So it's up to you to decide. You are the product owner. You are totally empowered to decide.
Mhm.
So for this exercise, just let flow your creativity. What you think would be the best approach.
And I should stick to this 7 notes, like this is scenarios, like the police arrives.
No,
So-
you
no,
can create more if you want.
okay,
No, feel free. Feel free to play. Don't worry. This is just like a proposal.
all right. Well, wasn't an easy role now for a product owner. I've never been in one.
Yeah, interesting.
So okay, I gonna make like so. Right. So let's see what can I. My imagination is already gone.
Don't worry. So, for example, we have here 9 elements in the backlog.
Mhm.
Something we can do is to define an minimum viable product. Are you did you have experience defining a minimum viable product?
Not really. I just worked as a developer, but not.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I am the Scrum Master, so it's my job to help you.
Mhm.
So then, for example, we can define, okay, what would be the minimal elements that could represent to be a movie? You can say with these 4 elements, it is already a movie, even if it's a short movie.
Okay. So we want to have 7 suspects,
Yeah,
and we want a private detective joins as well,
yeah,
and police arrive to the crime. So we have a crime, and
sure.
yeah. Fair enough.
And that's okay. That's your first movie.
Okay.
It's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let me organize a little bit for you. So as we are doing Scrum, we don't need to plan for perfection. We are doing empiricism.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the order you want to do it, right? In this order. Okay. Nice. So this is your minimum viable product. Just define, okay, with these 3 elements, I want to go forward. All the others can wait. This is the main function of a product owner. That's why the product owner needs to be only one person. So given this person can be the only one brain behind the decision. The product owner is there to make a strategic decision. The product owner is a strategic role. It's not a user story writer. It's not a commander. It's not a team owner. The product owner is there to make a strategic decision to say, okay, what we are going to go for first. Because I decide that not because I'm a magician. It's because I make a okay, maybe some market research, or I already interview some users and customers in person. And then I find out that the main impact is that for them to have a surprise factor is what makes them more interesting in the movie. That's the reason why they will go to buy and watch the movie and pay more for it. And given this is the main motivator for customers to buy the product, then this will be my way to maximize value as a product owner. And then, given we are doing empiricism, we are doing a Scrum, we don't need a perfect plan. We don't plan to succeed. We plan to experiment. And then we say, okay, then the product owner already selected these 3 elements. And now we're going to say, okay, let's go to the planning meeting. We step now into the planning meeting. We are going to plan one sprint. I know you know Scrum, but I'm doing this just to help people that may be watching this video. Okay, then the product owner only decides what's coming next. And that's all. Then the product owner almost finished its sides. Now the developers, Olen and me, we need to inspect these things and to watch what is this about. Then we will come with questions. We will try to search some details on what you want to achieve with one of these elements to be able to know what we should do in the sprint. So then the first question, I will follow my curiosity and ask you, for example, okay, why the first scenario is 7 suspects? What do you mean? What do you think?
Yes, I want to make it or to increase the suspense levels. So have 7 suspects and make it hard to guess who is this, and to make it complicated a little bit, and to create more stories and details, let's say.
Okay, a mystery.
Yeah.
Okay, a mystery. Yeah, it creates mystery because given there is 7 suspects, we don't know who is. Then it's a good way to have a catch in the beginning of the movie. So the very first 2 minutes of the movie, we already get caught at it, and then we want to watch more. Nice. And then I will. Why is important to make then this scenario for the police to arrive to the crime scene?
So that means that there is a murder, and the suspicion process started. So now it's time to investigate and rise the how to say this, rise a little bit the tension, and it's serious. There is also audience maybe around, and something like this.
I see. How can this story for the police to arrive to the crime scene creates more value? How can create more impact on the viewer?
Can you give a suggestion?
Well, yes, just to see the police arriving to the crime scene, maybe don't. I think it's very predictable, so to expect that, no? Maybe unpredictability could be a value factor. Let me create that here. So unpredictability. Here we identify a value, for example. Maybe my English is wrong. I don't know if it's unpredictability or unpredictability. Sorry for my English. But for example, when we define a value, this is the real role of a product owner, is to define and identify values. And then, for example, you identify one value here, and later on you can work it in the backlog to prioritize stories. Usually values are defined by only one word or maybe two words, but it's like, say, okay, freedom, dignity, health, unpredictability is like only one word. But this is the main North Star to guide all the development process. So this is quite critical for the product owner. But this is intended to be a basic Scrum training, so I don't want to go too much into advances. So what I would suggest here in this scenario, for example, and given I am a Scrum developer, I can make suggestions on how to improve the product. I'm not here just to follow requirements. Then I would propose here to create a sense of urgency. So we need to move fast with the police investigation because the murder may escape.
Yeah, that's fine.
For example, I would add something like that. Do you like that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Good. What we are watching here is that one developer is proposing a product improvement of urgency. This was not usual in traditional project management. Developers were following only requirements, but here the developers are co-creating the product with the product owner. Are you satisfied, Sarah, with this story? We move to the next one.
Yes, we can go further.
Good. Thank you. So, private detective Shonins. This is cool. Private detective Shonins. Okay. How you want to create value with this story?
So I will bring a very famous Hollywood star, something like this, and people waiting to see this star, and he will take the role of a private detective, and and he has a unique personality, like freak somehow. He's unusual person.
Perfect. Awesome. Good. But you see, we are slowly catching the flow. Now we think always in impact, impact, impact. Okay, now maybe that we have already the three, we can make a draft estimation with Olena and decide together if we can deliver the three scenarios in 5 minutes. What do you think, Olena?
Um, so we just need to add pictures, or we need to create complete story.
The definition of done is here. It declares it has one picture per scenario and one paragraph.
And paragraph, it's like a story, or
Yeah. Then we need to improve the definition of that. How would you propose the definition of that?
it has a story.
It has a paragraph. It has a story. Okay.
Because paragraph, I mean, yeah, it's just like.
Okay. And what is a story composed by?
Yeah, that's another question.
Yeah. How can we all be clear what is a story?
And I should evaluate during the story, or can I interface or interfere? Or
Yes. Maybe you can say how you want to define a story as a product owner. What is a story for you as a product owner?
So I want the story to be catchy. I want the story to be mysterious, and
Mysterious. Okay. Complexity is increasing. Good. That's why I like this game, because it's a creative process and it's very similar to software development.
yeah.
It's not just big things. Yeah.
I
Good.
have a question. It should be one picture and one story? Or can be one story and multiple pictures?
This is to me the question, or for the Scrum
Yeah,
Master?
it's for yourself. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So I want a picture for each story.
One picture per story. Okay.
No, but for each story, you mean it should be many stories and one picture, or it should be like one story and then.
Yes, for example, we have 7 suspects. So every suspect will have his own story, and I want with every suspect a story and a picture.
Okay, then 5 minutes will be hardly improbable, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Would be too much, huh?
But you see, we improved the definition of done, so we are clear how we understand when an item is really done. And the definition of done is the same, like saying, okay, this requirement applies to each one of these elements. So the definition of done need to be accomplished on each element. It's like defining one global requirement for all the items. And usually the non-functional requirements comes exactly in the definition of done. Good. So, looks like complexity increased. So then, what you think, Olena? Well, how many stories we can deliver in 5 minutes? The two of us.
I think four stories about each suspect.
Okay, what do you mean? Can you be more expanded?
Yeah, so Sarah told that for first car, where we have 7 suspects, we need to create 7 stories and add a picture to each story. So in the end, we need to have, let's say, 7 personalities with a story and a picture. So for 5 minutes, I think it will be too much. So I suggest that we, for this sprint, we create 4 stories. So we take 4 suspects, create 4 stories, and add 4 pictures to each story.
So,
what do you think, Dani?
yeah, come in.
What do you think is doable, or
I have a different understanding of what Sarah wants, but let's try to ask the product owner what is searching for each story. Do you want 7 stories for the 7 suspects, Sarah?
Yes, this is the definition of them that we need for every a suspect a story, a different story. So the story should be different and with different photos.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
so you
Okay,
can,
then we are all aligned on this. Yes. Olena.
yes, so you also can write plus 7 stories plus 7 pictures.
Yeah, of course. I can do it.
Then it will be clear.
Yes. So then, if I understood you right, Olena, this is our capacity, more or less. So we can fulfill 4 of 7. So 1 piece of the first product backlog item.
Yes.
Okay, I agree. Now that I understand this, I agree. So then, what's your position, product owner, in front of this situation that you want this MVP here and we can only fulfill this piece? You want to keep this order this way, or you want to change it?
So maybe to start with the police arrive to the crime scene is okay. Like at the beginning. So it's easy. It's managed for the sprint 1.
Okay.
So it's
So
kind
you
of
want to spawn this one?
Yes, to put it to make it a priority.
Okay.
Yeah. So we warm up and then we start to Then maybe also to put the private detective come first as well, and then the 4 suspects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if I understood right, this goes second. And this goes third, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about now if the product owner want to take the opinion of the developers? Is it possible, or I should be dictator somehow?
No.
No.
It's not recommended. I know.
No. So it's clear that each accountability has a different focus. So the product owner is focused on the impact and business values. The developers are focused on the technical challenges and implementation and building the increment. And the Scrum Master is focused on the process and the collaboration. But what comes outside of the sprint, so let's go back to this point, this thing that we see here that we call increment. This we can say is a product of the entire Scrum team, not only from the developers. So the entire Scrum team is accountable of creating a valuable increment. Of course, the developers are doing the technical part, but the product owner is bringing the prioritization and the strategical vision to increase value, and the Scrum Master is bringing the process and the empiricism. The Scrum Master assists everybody to become empiricist. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. So I'm facilitating the conversation that we can find alignments, agreements, and then we can decide how to organize the work to maximize the value. And it's exactly what you just did. Because after 1 sprint, you realize that you are not going to have, one complete element, then you say, well, you know what? I prefer to have something complete instead of something half done, and that's totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. So, um, so what I want to say with this, what I want to say is that whatever comes out from a sprint is a co-creation. It's a co-creation between product owner, developers, with the assistance of the Scrum Master. So that's why a Scrum developer can propose improvements can propose ideas. Yes, of course. And also, developer can express ideas on strategics and prioritization. Why not? But the last decision, the last word on deciding the priority is on the product owner. This is the accountability. Make sense?
Yeah. No, thank
So I, yeah, if I may, I would suggest that we have a police arrives, and then we have 4 suspects, yes, which we can complete in one sprint, and then a private detective joins, and then the 3 suspects, yes, because in that way, after police arrives, so they will suspect some people, yes, but then when detective joins, so it will be some surprise factor that there are other people, yes, who are suspected, so that we do not tell in one piece about 7 suspects, or we do not tell yes. Or maybe vice versa, like 3 or I mean, yeah, or 5 2, yes.
Sarah, what do you think?
Yes, in this scenario, I will take the opinion of my developers in consideration, since it's also for capacity, and I would be flexible with this.
Nice. So then we split the story into 2 pieces, more deliverable, and then, okay, I forgot, I mistake here the number.
But then maybe we go like police arrives, then 4 stories, and then private detective joins, and 3 stories.
Okay. Product owner?
3 suspects in the beginning, and then because I want the famous star to come, and that
Okay.
the audience also keep a little bit to stay on the film. So
Great.
No, but first police arrives.
yes, first police arrive, and then 3 suspects,
Yeah.
and then the star, the private detective joins, and then the 4th.
Yeah. Okay, and then this will be part of the next release. This gets out of this release, but it's okay. Good. How does it look like?
Well,
so
It
Sarah,
looks
this
like
is
a
what you
plan.
want?
yeah, for me it's okay. Let's see.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's see the developer.
Excellent. So then we will have a first sprint where we create only this story. Did I get it right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, someone's joining. I think need to. Okay, let's shake Murai. Hello, Sheikha. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Oh, welcome to the session. Just
Thank
to let
you.
you know, we are recording the session. Is it okay for you?
That's fine.
Okay, nice.
Do I need to have my camera on?
No. Only
Okay.
if you want. No, we
Okay.
don't have to. No.
Thank
So we're in the middle of the game, so we need to keep the flow, and we can share with you later on the ongoing. So right now we just review the backlog, and we are going now to start the sprint. So Sheikha, what's your experience with the Scrum?
So I'm very new to Scrum. I work in education as a cover teacher. I used to be a teaching assistant for a while, and I recently changed to doing cover teaching.
Okay.
I recently certified as a Scrum Master, so I'm looking to gain some experience and just to see how everything come together.
No problem. Is it okay if I put your name here as a developer?
That's fine.
Great. So then we are now estimating. We're creating a movie where there is a crime scene, some suspects, and some, okay, interesting. And the movie is creating value in base of creating a story with a surprise factor. So we try to create surprise factor with the movie. And now we are going to decide what we are going to accomplish in the first sprint. So, Olena, I think you are the lead developer. So, what do you think about this story? Now our team increased capacity, so we are 3.
Yes, but I think we could take instead of 3 suspects, 4 suspects, but then for the movie maybe it won't bring more surprise. So maybe indeed it's better after the detective joins to have 4 suspects. So we can do it, but then it won't. It won't give any additional value to the movie.
Okay, interesting. We have one developer defining value. That's very good. What do you think, product owner? Do you agree with this value interpretation? Sarah?
Yes, sorry, I was talking and my to say.
Yes, okay.
Yes, it's a critical now that the developer give me his opinion, and I want my decision now to
Mhm.
have 3. I don't want to approve now the developer opinion. So what happened?
No, an opinion is just an opinion. It's like a hat. You can have it. So it's everyone can have one. So is for the product owner is opportunity to learn and discover through the perspective of another observer. So this is a moment in where the product owner need to be a good listener and pay attention to what the developer is saying. But of course, the product owner holds the last decision always on the priority, but only in the priority, not on how to implement the story.
Yes, but how about that when he's not right?
Well, we are empiricists. We are doing a Scrum. We are never right.
Yes, so I would stay on this 3 suspect.
Perfect. Okay, then what do you think, Olena?
Yeah,
What to do?
that was my suggestion as well, that we stay with 3, even though we can make 4, because we have now 3 people in the team.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that in terms of capacity, we can make 4 stories instead of 3, but it won't bring value to the movie as, it's better to have 3 suspects and then that detective joins and then 4 suspects.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I understood it maybe that you want to propose also a new suggestion. Okay, then.
Okay, good, nice.
So we are all aligned.
Yes, aligned.
But pay attention to what's going on in the conversation. Because we tend to think that language is a very precise machine, and it's not. So language is a very organic phenomenon. And sometimes we think or we feel that we understood what the other person is saying, but many times this is not the reality. So we need to really double check, give an example, show the perspective to really validate and ensure that we are following what the other person is trying to say. So this is the game. The game is talking. The game is trying to understand. The game is to listen. This is the game. Good. So what we do, Elena?
I think we can start a sprint.
Yeah, with
We
the
all-
police?
Yes.
Okay, then we are going to start the sprint. I will put this on one side to make space.
And maybe this, unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay, this is one of the main values that we are focusing on. I think Sheikha showing later explained that usually values are defined by one word or some short title. So now we're going to work on this. So unpredictability is the way that the movie scenario will create impact in the viewer. So this is what we understand as value. Because this value will create impact in the viewer that will make the viewer want to watch the movie, to buy it, or to just wait in line in the cinema to get a ticket, to create interest. Okay, ready to go? So right now, the Scrum team finished the sprint planning. And now we have a sprint plan, sprint backlog that is only one story. But that's okay. We are empiricists. We don't plan for perfection. We plan for experimentation. And then the Scrum team is going to work. Starts the sprints, and on each day is going to have a daily Scrum meeting where they are going to check how they are doing, how's their flow doing on each day. So in this game, each day is represented by 1 minute. I will create timer, I think for 1 minute, yes. So given I am the Scrum Master, I will be the clock owner. And then, so Sheikha, if you don't have a Mural account, you are not going to be able to work in the Mural. Do you have a Mural?
I do have a Mirror account. Let me see if I
Okay.
can log into
Yes.
it.
And check out if you can enter the link I just post, and then you can join the Mural. Otherwise,
you posted a link in the chat?
Yes, it's in the chat.
Okay.
Great. So anyway, if you cannot access, we can co-create on Strong Voice. So what's the role of the product owner once the sprint is started? Do you have any question?
For my role in the daily, I think I don't have anything to do.
Good. Right.
Yes, it's developers. Right?
I can't see the chat where you posted anything. It's not showing up.
Okay. Wait a second. I will repost it. Sorry for the others that you will read the same link 8
Okay,
times. Okay, nice. Yes, of course, great, Sarah. So you don't have to do nothing actively, just to be available for the team for questions and to support them on the flow. But your job as product owner is not to control the team. It's not to manage the team.
No, I think
Actually, yeah. Actually, while the team is building the increment, you just assist them on understanding the definition of that and the requirements on the. But if they have questions, if they want to check something, your main work is try to find out new value opportunities. Meanwhile, the developers are building the increment. For that, you are going to interview users, customers. Maybe you are going to go into the cinema, sit down in a place, talk with viewers in the cinema, just having informal talks, make a field research
Yeah.
as a product owner to find out value opportunities.
Yeah.
Nice. So, any question before we start? I think Sheikha is here. Good.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
I joined a little bit later, so I don't know. Did I miss much?
Don't worry. Don't worry. Just have fun.
Okay.
We're creating a movie scenario where the police arrives to the crime scene and there is a murder, there is a suspicion process started, and it's time to investigate. But this is the police, not the private detective. So it's a standard police.
Okay.
Nice. So then we can here on the link choose pictures, and we should write here a paragraph altogether. So ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, then start the sprint.
Okay. We need to write a story.
Mhm.
Daniel, could you please write a story and we will tell what to write?
What comes to your mind now?
Nothing. I mean, we're create. So in this, but in this box. Okay, let's us decide where to write the story. In this
Yes.
box, this empty white box.
I think you are free to more. Yeah.
Yeah, you can start the word. Okay, one day. So
Uh-huh.
okay,
Uh-huh.
how do you feel with the flow?
We need to color.
Yes. Okay. Change the color. Yeah. Then let's go back to the work. Nice. So, what's next?
Next,
Yeah. So first, we need to create a scenario where there is a murder. So
yeah, we already have a picture, so that's
Yeah.
good.
yes,
We just need to create a story.
the rich man lies on the floor. On the floor.
Maybe not rich man, but just a man.
Okay. The man lies. A man. Lies on the floor, and the blood is
Or maybe person. Yeah, just we don't know, man or woman.
okay. Person.
Someone. maybe even someone, not a person. Yes.
You can
More.
change it. I just throw a draft there. You can change it.
I also can change.
Yes, of course. So then, what's next? Suspension process started. So suspension process started. Okay, suspension process started. So shall I add one more picture? Because with one picture, it's like we are a little bit short.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I have a question for the product owner.
Mhm. It's
Can
okay.
It's okay. We can add more than one picture.
Yes, yes, you are free to do it, and I.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then. Okay. Okay. Daily update. Okay, feeling secure.
Oh my
you feel good, Elena. Nice to meet you. Good. So I think okay, I will not put people or pictures of real people. This is not respectful. Let me put some some generic, yes, something like that. Okay, good. Okay, Sarah feels a little bit insecure. What's going on, Sarah?
I'm just a naughty product owner, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
But
But
I'm
that's we can do.
sorry.
Okay. No, sorry. My question is for the other developers. Someone lies on the floor and the blood is still fresh. Police is interviewing. Okay, what's next? Then we have, oh my God, daily.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. No, change the color. I feel totally blocked. Okay, 2 days to go for the sprint. Mamma mia. Good.
Okay, I finished my part of the story.
Okay,
I'm done.
suspects were identified.
Yes, and then okay, suspension process started, and
Yeah.
then we have is time to investigate, create a sense of urgency. So we need to create a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
How to do it?
Okay, then some suspects were identified in the moment of discovery, and then we have here the picture. Yeah. So now police arrives.
Maybe we can put it
It's
here.
time. Yes, of course. It is time to investigate, to create sense of urgency. So to create sense of urgency, and now we are in the last minute. So let's create some witnesses. Oh,
We
daily.
Yeah.
Okay, change the color. And last minute, and we finish the. So we finish the sprite. So some witnesses, we are all insecure. But Sheikha feels good. That's good. And Sarah feels good, feels better now.
Yes.
Some witnesses. Some witnesses.
So witnesses
So
declare.
it's okay. I was gonna say, so interviewed witnesses. Maybe here, witnesses interviewed.
Yeah. How can we create sense of urgency?
Maybe like sense of urgency. You could have people doing door to door, like trying to find out if anybody saw anything.
Okay.
That normally
Narrators,
happen.
start. Okay, sprint is finished. Working. It is what it is. There's no more time. Hands up, hands up. So, what did we discover as a team in this sprint? So, we already made more or less 5 minutes of work, and then now we are here. We are watching the increment. We're watching the increment that comes out of this sprint. So this is what do you feel when you watch your increment, our increment?
Shall the product owner say something first, or should the
Yes,
developer?
of course. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that I saw with a short time a result. My team worked pretty well. I'm quite secure that they could improve another increment that also will make the film better. But also I have some suggestions. So
Okay.
yeah. Especially with the definition of done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take notes.
Mhm.
Definition of done. What's going on with the definition of done?
Mhm. So I want like the sense of urgency. The sense of urgency. I saw that. Yeah, can be, for example, another people are scared. Some of them are also injured, and there's something like this. There's a scary in the street.
Okay.
Sense of insecurity.
Urgency. Some people injured. Some people scared. Okay. Thanks for that. But you want to have it in the definition of done, or you want to add as a detail for this specific scenario?
For this specific scenario. So for
Okay, it's not for everyone. Okay, that's for them. Okay, then we are more details to this story. Good. It's not definition of done. It's
not right.
It's like acceptance criteria or details for this. Okay, thanks. Do you see some need to improve on quality?
For the moment, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we may have stakeholders, those stakeholders should show in the sprint review. So in the sprint review, we are watching the increment and we are talking about the increment. This is what we're doing now. But usually if you have only the product owner, okay, the product owner will give feedback about the increment. But if we can have more opinions in the sprint review, that's better. Okay, right now we received some feedback from the product owner. During the sprint, the product owner discovered a new way to create value while the developers were building the increment. So we have a new way to create value. And it's that the story where the wrong suspects get arrested to discover in the end who was the true murderer. So if in the story the wrong suspect get arrested, and at the end of the story it's discovered that the murder was someone else, that creates way much value on the viewers, and that can create, for example, a connection with the second part of the movie, second version. This is what the product owner is bringing to the point. But maybe this discovery from the product owner is not affecting the current scenario we are working on, or maybe yes, but it may affect the upcoming stories in the backlog. Makes sense? Are you following the process?
Correct.
Shaika, are you following?
Yeah. Yeah. The bit that the sense of urgency part that the product owner just talked about, I think it will have an effect on the second part where you're saying that they arrested the wrong person. So now there will be a sense of urgency because they're trying to find the actual murderer. So
Yes.
now the investigation is going to be bigger and more steps have to be taken to catch the right people.
Right. So, and that can create more value. And this is important. The product owner during the sprint was researching how to create more value. Bring that to share feedback with the team. And then the developers needs also to understand value. So a Scrum developer is not just a programmer. The Scrum developer also needs to understand value. And the product owner mission is to help everybody around to understand value. Because when the developer is on the keyboard working, need to make decisions. So anybody can make decisions, because in the Scrum team is an empowered team, is able to make decisions. But the accountability defines that just the product owner has a decision on priorities and values, but everybody needs to understand value, even the Scrum Master. So then when they take decisions, they do it in base of understanding of values. Okay, let me put this a little bit that way and block it. So something more from the sprint review, or that's all from your side, Sarah?
I think yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Moment for this sprint.
Okay. So obviously the developers made an estimation that they are going to finish the story inside one sprint. It didn't happen. We failed the estimation. That's okay. It's part of empiricism. The developers will refine the way to estimate in further sprints. They will discover what's their real capacity, with what they feel comfortable to work with, but through the experience. So this is given we are doing empiricism, we are not planning for perfection. We are planning to experiment and discover and learn. Good. Questions, comments?
We need a retrospective.
Yes. Now we move to the next step. The Scrum team goes to the retrospective, where we focus on how to improve, but not how to improve the product. How to improve collaboration, how to improve processes, maybe rules, maybe definition of done, how to improve the definition of done. Maybe we need to change the sprint size, we need to change the daily, we need to change the way we communicate. What else? In the sprint retrospective is a meeting exclusively private for the Scrum team. No one else outside the Scrum team is allowed to join the meeting. The product owner must be there, the Scrum Master, and the developers. And then to discuss how can we improve the way we are working together. And depending on the team maturity, it can involve more and more topics and possibilities. So, how can we improve our processes? What did you discover on the way? What do you think? How can we improve our work?
I think we need to split the work. So first minute, first day of the sprint, we need to use for split the work.
Yes. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Sheikha?
And also we can make we can split the work and also create those cards, yellow cards that we know where to put, for example, story, and then where to put picture, so we do not use time for this hesitation.
Okay, yes, true. A lot of hesitation happened in the beginning, but something we can do is to clean up the board and move out the other stories we are not working on. Out from the side to have more clean the board.
I agree with the whole splitting the work thing, because if the work is split and then one person is responsible for this and one person is responsible for something else, I think more can be done if it's done that way. And
Okay.
yeah, the board, I think the pictures, maybe if we have somewhere else for I don't know, for the pictures, because there's a lot going on.
Maybe we can create like work space. I mean, here, how do you call it? Work frame?
Yes, we can.
Framework. Okay.
Work frame. Yeah, I can create one.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Let me duplicate this one.
Okay.
Put it here. I will.
But only for movie. So I will move those cards
Work
here.
frame. So, yes. And then we move the ongoing. Oh, we can call it. Oh, sorry. No. Rename. Scrum work in progress. Work in progress. Okay. We can call it Scrum work in progress. Then I will put the title. Yes. Good idea. And we split the Scrum
Go shower and bring me water.
work in progress. Yeah. Yes. Then we organize here the work, and then that way we can work better. Nice.
Maybe like a little bit. So maybe stories on the left and picture on the right.
Okay.
Yes, I approve this to have.
And here we have in green the improvements that comes from the sprint review. As part of requirements. So definition of done remains, but there were an update in this definition of done. We changed this rule: one picture, one story. At least one picture per story, we can say, but we can use more. It's okay for the problem?
Yes, sounds good.
Yeah, okay, nice. So then the definition of done is updated, and now our work is reorganized. You can see already the improvement. And okay, this was the retrospective.
Yeah, and then also if we add pictures, so we add on the right. So like.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, like here and there. And
Yeah.
yeah, maximum but 3, and if you make smaller, we can fit more.
Fantastic. Some comments on the ongoing process, as you may see here in the daily. So this is visual management. So we represent a role with the shape and a feeling with the color. So with the shape, we represent the role. For example, I am the Scrum Master, Sarah is the product owner. But with the color, we're representing mood or status or feeling. And this is visual management. We use shapes and colors to make things visual. So, and during the sprint, I was working on something, and then I watch like that and say, "Hey, Sarah, you are insecure. Everything is right." So, I discovered that Sarah's feeling just by watching the board, the status, and that's also visibility and transparency.
Mhm. And so the role of the Scrum Master is just to how you can define it, when he, for example, found the product owner insecure, or
Well, the role of the Scrum Master is the envelope of the Scrum team. So all you need to start working with the Scrum is to have a Scrum Master. For example, if you don't know nothing about the Scrum, okay, the first thing you need is a Scrum Master, and you can start, and you can discover on the way how to work with the Scrum. The Scrum Master is the context where the game is facilitated, and it can play many stances. For example, it can be a facilitator, it can be a teacher or trainer, but also can be a coach.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then, depending on the situation and the necessities on the team, the Scrum Master can be teacher, trainer, coach, or facilitator. So it's a multifunction role.
Mhm.
Did I satisfy your question?
Yes, and I have the question also, like when the product owner is insecure, or yeah, he has bad feelings or whatever.
Yes.
The Scrum Master can help or support with, I don't know.
If the product owner allow it, yes. So of course the Scrum Master is not a superhuman, it's not a superhero. But as long as we can facilitate communication and we can understand each other, this is the key, to keep the balance in the team. Because in a Scrum team, it's important the power balance.
Mhm.
So when the product owner becomes dominant over the others,
Mhm.
then the Scrum team is not gonna work fine.
Mhm.
When the developers becomes dominant and the product owner is weak,
Mhm.
then also you will have a problem. The Scrum is based on a balance of power, and sometimes the Scrum Master need to watch this and realize when there is a power imbalance. Sometimes the Scrum Master is working to have this balance and to help them to understand that this balance is important.
Mhm.
And the easiest way is just to remind the limits of each accountability. For example, if the developers try to make a priority decision, then no, this is for the product owner. Then subtitle, I can ask when a developer says, we should do that first. Then I ask, okay, product owner, do you agree with this? This is a way to remind everybody that this decision belongs to the product owner. So, and that way of interaction is typical from the Scrum Master.
Mhm. Mhm.
For example, in retrospective, if people are complaining, that is quite usual, that people use the retro to complain. Then the Scrum Master can say, okay, what can we do about this topic? And with this question, the Scrum Master is inviting them to become responsible of what they are declaring, to be responsible of the problem, and to decide what we can do to take action on the issue, to take action on the problem, just to complain.
Yeah. Thank you.
Did
Well, yeah.
Did you get what you want?
Yes. Thank you. Well explained.
Nice. Okay, so now we finish the retrospective, and now what's going on? When a sprint is finished, it just comes another sprint, and so on and so on. So the next step after the sprint retrospective is the next sprint planning. In this case, we gained experience during the sprint, so we more or less know better our capacity. We reorganize the work, and now we are ready to go further and go for more. So are you willing to run another sprint, or you want to just make a round of questions and then we can close this session? What do you want to do?
I feel okay with this. How about you,
Lena, how do you feel?
For me, both options are fine.
Good. Jacob? I think maybe Jacob, for you would be better to repeat the season. Okay,
Sorry,
or
can
maybe
you
to watch the video.
repeat
No,
that?
it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. Okay, well, okay, what questions do you have? Comments, questions, feelings?
So just
Yes, Sarah.
just the questions and feeling about sharing feeling and questions about this game simulation, or about the process of this game. So we're gonna play another session. That's what I.
Can be both. Can be both. Whatever you want to share. If you want to express a concern about the game itself, or what did you discover in the simulation? It's up to you what you need.
Yes, for time perspective, I would say it's okay. It's okay for me. It was pretty interesting and get some insightful about the Scrum Master role. So I really enjoy the process and get some. Yeah, it's not an easy. It's very easy to understand Scrum, but pretty difficult to apply it on the real world. And it requires a lot of skills inside.
Good.
I agree with Sarah about like understanding it and having the knowledge of it. It's easy, but applying it in the real world can be difficult, because you like, you know what you need to do, but then it's like putting it into place. So I think this simulation is good because you see how it comes together. You see how everything comes together, from the product backlog to the sprint planning to actually doing a sprint and trying to get to the definition of done, and just the team working together. And then the Scrum Master is there to remove any impediments that might happen, or just be there to make sure that everything is is going according to plan.
Mhm.
It's very interesting, and this is I was keen to do this because I've done the course, and yes, I know the role of a Scrum Master, but seeing it, I think it makes it a lot more real when you see it all coming together.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's the purpose of this game, to watch it in action. And what I like about this game is not that I created, but what I like is that it's a creative process. We are creating a movie, and this is really simulates what is in reality the software development process. It's a co-creation, and this is why I really like this game. I like to know that you get value from it.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's, can I also add something about the empirism? And yes, it's really like feeling lost at the beginning of the sprint. This feeling, it was pretty um, hard to digest as a product owner, and I think the same for a developer. But thanks for the Scrum Master, how he could facilitate all the process and yes, support this to happen, and without judging or controlling, and just yes, threw us in the cold water, but still like we have something to try, just to try overcome this angst, fear. Yeah. And it's not easy. Now I see it's pretty challenging as a Scrum Master to practice presenting the empirism and to give it to other.
Exactly. That's why many times when we are doing Scrum, we are managing chaos.
Mhm.
And the way to manage chaos is to put it into some capsules, to encapsulate it. So then you cannot manipulate the chaos,
Mhm.
but you can manage it by putting inside some container.
Yep.
And this is some way the trick behind Scrum, because Scrum defines sprints of the same length, what has no reason to be, but it's just to say, okay, I will create these sprints, and inside these sprints, I will release the chaos. And after this chaos, I will learn something, inspect, adapt, improve, and then on the next sprint, I will release again the chaos. And sometimes people are struggling, fighting, trying to reduce chaos, but it's not possible.
Yeah.
And that's why it's better to let it flow, because we don't know how a sprint will happen. It's not, we cannot do a planning to the detail. Okay, we will do this on the first day, we will do this on the third day, and after that we were going to do that. And so this kind of unrealistic planning is a waste of time and effort. And then we say, okay, what's the goal? We'll go to this goal. Okay, then let's just play the game. Let's just explore. And then after the sprint, we review what we got. And in this metaphor I like to use to explain Scrum and agility is that, okay, when we try to manipulate the water and the ink, how they mix each other, we cannot. It's complex. It's
Mhm.
chaotic. We cannot handle and manage the water, but I can manage bottles. I can manage glasses. Inside the glasses, it's the chaos happening, but I can manage the glass. And this is the trick to really tackle the complexity and being able to flow and to create value.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
That's why Scrum is about complexity and it's about empiricism. It's not about planism. It's not about perfectionism. And what's the role of the Scrum Master? To help these things to work. So it's quite relevant, the role of a Scrum Master.
Sure. Sure.
Scrum
Jacob?
Masters wear so many different hats. And I think that's what makes, in the sense that it's like you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're the facilitator, you're like kind of holding the team together, while it's like you're making sure that everything is running smoothly so that the you reach so that the product goal is achieved. So I think it is in Scrum Master role is very important, but I feel like it sounds difficult in the sense that a Scrum Master is so many things in one person, in one role.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why it's also hard to find good Scrum Masters, because it's
So
hard to be. Yeah.
for someone like myself, who I've got transferable skill, because like I said, I'm transitioning from being in education, so I know I've done and I'm also a small business owner, so I do Scrum in my, when I'm preparing for my, I make skincare, so I know I have to do that when I have to do my at the time, like before I did Scrum, I didn't know that's what it was. Like when you have your product backlog and you have the sprint goal and you have the product goal. So the goal is to have a finished usable product, which is my cream. So I know I've practiced that, but how do you, and I've done my certification, but what I'm finding difficult is actually getting experience, and most jobs, they're asking for experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have, how do I put it? It's like I have experience doing other things, but it's like putting that together to show on your CV that, okay, I've got experience in this field, like maybe in education or as a business owner. But I'm finding it difficult just making that transition and being able to gain some hands-on experience before like applying for a Scrum Master role. So as a new Scrum Master, how would you advise people about getting experience before they or how can you help somebody like myself? What kind of advice would you give someone like myself who's new to it?
Well, first of all, from your coach side, or from the coaching side, to feel that you cannot because you don't have experience, it's a judgment. So the possibilities you can have in your way is the ones you can open for yourself. So you can create your own possibilities if they don't exist.
Okay.
So I would say first, keep your mind open. And for the people that are searching to have a first experience as a Scrum Master, so don't believe your own judgments. Just keep your mind open and your eyes open, because you may find opportunities on the way, or you can create it for yourself also. And the second part is that I see there a lot of advertising searching for junior Scrum Masters. And hard to say, but usually some companies prefer to have junior Scrum Masters because they are more easy to handle. Because the Scrum Master role is complicated from the political perspective. I always say that the Scrum Master is a job that you can lose by doing it really well. It's one job you can get fired by being very good Scrum Master. And some companies prefer to have junior Scrum Masters because they are still not seasoned, and then they are more easy to handle and to influence and to have more control over them. Because Scrum, in pure theory, defines a really empowered product owner, a really empowered Scrum Master, and really empowered developers. And sometimes this with the hierarchical and traditional management is not 100% compatible. So I would say in traditional corporations, there is many opportunities for junior Scrum Masters. At least I have seen a lot of advertising that way. But don't put expectations. Just be empiricist and make your own experience. Whatever it is, it's going to be beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
And we need to realize also that we are living a paradigm shift era. So we are pioneers on a paradigm shift. So there is a lot of people that are still with the old paradigm and trying to play the new game.
Mm-hmm.
And this coexistence is some way difficult. So remain flexible and keep walking. I don't know if I satisfy your question, Sheikha.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Other question? Did you learn something new in this experience?
Yes, definitely from my side.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for a real Scrum Master attitude to learn, and I felt that with this simulation game, just observing how you reacted when you interface with a product owner and with a developer and with the definition of done and what we have to do and how to ask open questions to go further. And how to hold on with a lot of patience and not to interface or interfere. Or I really liked this. Felt felt that yes, I still have maybe 100 stair. How to say this? 100 a stair with 100 steps to climb. Sorry for my English anyway, but it's a process to learn, and it's interesting and at the same time very challenging to be a Scrum Master and to and I don't know, because I also will go to a discussion next week how to get this art of communication to as you explained when I asked you how to keep all the Scrum team in balance with power. And so, for example, how to when the product owner is really dominant, or contrary, the Scrum developers are more dominant, and this type of conflict, how to keep this balance between each side. It's an art, seriously, and feels like it needs a lot of soft skills inside to learn. Yeah, this is challenging. Yeah.
We have another chapter with coaching where we exchange learning of coaching discipline. That is quite critical for the Scrum Master.
Yeah.
Feel free to join.
Thank you. Yes, I would do.
Mhm. Some more insights, some more new discoveries.
I think now I realized that to be a Scrum Master is more complex than to be a product owner for me personally, because first I got a role of product owner, but we didn't have a Scrum Master. So we just reorganized in cross-functional teams, which was very good decision from the management at that point. So actually it was how to say, not from the higher manager, but from team leads of different teams. But at that time it was just like back end, front end, and by technologies, not by a product. So that time we all got inspired, and it was like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, and I was like really excited. Yes, I didn't know that much about Scrum at that time, and we didn't get any training. So yes, it was just a pure on my investigation, and basically I read the book Scrum and also Scrum Guide, and also I took a course about soft skills because it was in COVID time, and it was just one course offline. So really, I just wanted to see people. Yes, and then one part was about teams, and about let's say all I don't know, all not steps, but when the team. I mean, it was about creation and team, and yes, but not from a Scrum perspective. Yeah, and then I think I acted like a product owner and also Scrum Master. As good that I cannot code, because otherwise I would be also developer. So yes. Yeah, and that was kind of interesting experience, and I felt quite I don't know, like quite confident in my role. But now when in my like new project, I am a Scrum Master, not a product owner. I found out it's extremely difficult. That's maybe the most difficult what I have done work-wise. And it's not IT company, so we are introducing Scrum to the non-IT environment. Yeah, so we need to adjust processes a little bit to the business needs. Yes, we just need to implement agile philosophy. But then there are many differences between software development and
Well,
and
today we were not doing software. This was a non-IT.
yes,
This was a non-IT implementation.
yes, but it's extremely difficult to be a Scrum Master. Yeah, because
Extremely.
I mean, as a product owner, you know what to not you know what to do, but you know your product, and then it's it's more comfortable. But if you are a Scrum Master in your team and you don't know the product that well as everyone else, then I think that's good for a Scrum Master. Yes.
I may think out loud. If you find extremely difficult something, it's because maybe you are trying to put your fingers inside the glass and try to manipulate the water and ink.
I don't know. No, I think I don't. I don't do that. Yes, but maybe I just really want everything to be very smooth. Yeah, and I need opposite. I need to create more uncomfortable situation that people can, react and act. Yes.
Okay.
And for me, that's a kind of for now a bit challenging.
Okay. Interesting. If we feel frustration, it's because maybe we are not using the right strategy, or no, sorry, remove the word right. There's nothing right or wrong. We are not using a functional strategy in front of complexity. If we experience frustration, if we really are struggling with something, if we find something really difficult, so life is difficult. So life is difficult. And life is full of complexity and chaos. And in front of that complexity, we need to have simple strategies. Remain simple. When we try to use complicated strategies to deal with the complexity, we get trapped by the complexity. We fall in the trap. We need to keep a distance with the complexity to not fall in the trap of complexity. And that's why Scrum is so simple and so abstract. Because if you go into the details, you fall into the trap. Instead of that, okay, you define a container, okay, the sprint. And then you have another container, the sprint backlog. And then you have another container, the sprint backlog items. And in those containers, chaos. And if you need to resist the temptation to try to control the chaos. And this is the difficult part. Because we want everything to be like we want to be. But no, this is not how it works. We are here to let it flow. So, time is almost over. Last comments, last question.
As a Scrum Master, how do you keep the daily Scrum?
What do you mean by keep?
How do you not keep? What my question is, you have the daily Scrum, which is 15 minutes. How do you make sure that it's 15 minutes and not like go over to not go past that time?
Well, first of all, 15 minutes is a theoretic daily for a collocated team. If you have a distributed team, I should forget about the 15 minutes rule, because people need to share a little bit more because they don't sit each other together. And second of all, if the people cannot hold it into 15 minutes, it's an opportunity to learn. It's not a problem. I would bring that to the retrospective and talk with them, okay, how can we improve the daily? Sometimes, depending on the type of relation, I can give some hints and feedbacks to the team. For example, to reminder that the daily is a declarative meeting. We are there to declare things, not to debate.
Okay.
Like we did in the game, just put the color of your mood. That's all. That's the day. We are not there to debate. It's just make it visible, make it transparent. And the other thing is to use a short language. Some people like to talk infinitely, and then just to shorten the language to say, okay, I'm working on A and B, and I found the problem C. That's all. If we want to move the daily really to the next level, I think a great team will stop talking individually. They will start to talk collectively using the we, not the I. And they will talk about goals, not tasks. But the world is still not ready for this message. Sarah.
I hope I don't interrupt now with another topic, but it just came to my mind. If the Scrum Master can be strict, is there levels of being strict with the Scrum teams in terms of time boxed meetings, or when he can be? Can he be a police? Can he play a police role sometime, or it's be a little bit strict or not soft? Let me just correct it. Yeah, soft Scrum Master and somehow strict Scrum Master.
Well, in Scrum Agile, we are strict in very few things. But before going forward, I want to check if Sheikha, are you done with your question?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
done. Thank you.
Welcome. In Scrum Agile, we are strict with very few things. One of them is time boxing. But of course, always we need to follow the common sense. So I think if some meeting get extended, okay, let it flow for this time. And later on, try to figure out how to improve it for next time to fit in the time box. So it's always the value are more important than processes. Actually, the Agile Manifest says people and interactions are more important than processes and tools.
Mm-hmm.
The time box strategy is made for you to not paint a Da Vinci, but to make a shorter, humble version of the thing, because I let you consume any time you are going to paint the masterpiece. You are going to let your ego consume all the resources. The time box is to optimize. It's to make it to keep things shorter. The problem is to not confuse means with ends. So the time box is a mean, it's not an end.
Mm-hmm.
Then the feeling for the Scrum Master is to try to find how the time box can help the team to create more value, because the most important thing here are the people and the value. So how can we create more value? So then when the time box is over, I could remind them, okay, people, like I just did, the time is getting off, time is over. Do you want to extend this meeting? By these questions, I'm making everybody aware that the time box was consumed, and I'm making everybody responsible on the decision if they want to extend the meeting or not. Later on, we are going to discuss how to improve the meeting. But when you play the police, I don't say that you will never be a police. Some situations may require you to be a police man or woman. But this, I would say, these are extreme situations, maybe emotional conflicts or something that may be dangerous for the safety of people. But otherwise, we need to assume that we are working with grown-up adults and powerful people.
Yet even also with not mature teams, Scrum teams.
And it's a fact of maturity, exactly. So from the process perspective, the one easiest way to optimize the meeting is to be prepared before the meeting. But this is something to learn. So we are not there to be perfect. We are there to learn from the experience. Okay, I think the time is exceeded.
I got very good insight that I can ask on retrospective what a team likes about daily planning and retro. I mean, or what they don't like or what they want to be different. So because I'm always thinking about that. Yes, maybe they can also help me.
Great. Thanks for sharing. So then to close the session, what do you take out from today's session? Just 2 sentences. And what's the biggest value you take from today? So I will start as an example to say, for me, it's a great experience to play with you this game. It's the 3rd time I played the game, and I'm glad to feel and hear and discover that you may find out some corners of the Scrum framework that were not visible in the Scrum guide. And that at least from the conversation, I have the feeling that each one of you extract some value from this session. So this is the biggest value for me, to feel that your investment in time here was rewarded. So then I pass the voice to Elena.
I took that I need to ask more feedback, yes, on retro, on things which I am hesitating or I have many thoughts about, like, yes, and then very concrete questions, because I asked, what do you like about Scrum or you don't like about Scrum, but that was not concrete at all. And then also that maybe I need to prepare a game. And so it's not always about work, but we also can play a game to understand a bit more how Scrum works, and also to have kind of team building.
Good. That's the voice.
What I liked about this session was just seeing how everything coming together by doing the sprints, and I missed the whole sprint planning and putting everything together, but from what I've seen on the board, so that's what I like about it, the fact that I can see how it all come together. So it's like having the knowledge and see and applying it in the real world, and just knowing that, okay, it's Scrum Master. It's easy to understand, but it's not very easy to implicate. But I feel like once you gain some experience and you see it being done, or you're a part of it being done, I feel like it will get easier.
Mhm. Well, thanks, Shaika. Amazing. So, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. I would say that learning by experience is something very valuable. I enjoyed our time. Felt like I put right my time in this investation. I invest richtig well my time, and what I take with me is sentence you said. It's not about being perfect. We are here to be not perfect, and also really to understand deeply the agile principles. For example, the simplicity, how to keep it. It's an art. It's really an art. How to optimize the processes also through our attitude, our questions as Scrum Master, how to put our ego in a in a different place, and hold the we instead of I, or the value, and yes, the focus. It's all about values as well, like understanding well what is the Scrum values and also the agile values. Yeah, that's for me. The game was an example, it was a practice, because I studied. I worked also with some teams, but not really agile. So the game gave quite a simulation, gave a self provide for me. It gave me a practice to an experience to learn this by doing it. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. I want to react for this closing moment. Thanks for invest your time. Really, thank you for investing your time here, and allow me to record this. My question now, if I can keep the recording and publish it on YouTube for you, is okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, for me también. Oh, I'm here. So I'm a participant. I answer myself. So then I want to wish you a great day and hope to see you again next session.
Definitely. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Sheikha.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Sorry for the long time and the delay. But
No, it's
it was
okay.
great.
Did it start at 7 or 6:30?
We start at 7:30. Yeah, it's like 2 hours, I think. Too much.
Oh, because I know I joined a bit late, but I wasn't sure if it was starting at 7 or
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry for being so long. Next time we will optimize. And
No, it's
see
fine.
you.
We are agile. So,
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.